Yo, look at Indiana Jones. You look like the part Indiana Jones when they go to take it back to storage, man. You look like you sitting in there. You just took things out the
Yeah,
crates.
we got a mini arc right here.
Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant right
Yeah.
here.
So that's an NFT right there
That
all day.
sword,
Bang.
Yeah.
sword.
Um, um,
Bro, Nick, that seat you sitting in right there, that behind you, that's the that chair right there, does it have like a tiger paw or a lion paw? Is that
Nah, this is actually the one on the side, not the chair itself.
the lions is on the side. You
Yeah, the
can't
line.
kind of see it.
Yeah, the lines is on the side. You can't really see it.
But
wow, man?
but go.
So look, y'all would have got a deal.
Just off of the set alone.
Coming like
Yeah, that's
that.
X Clan right there.
Done
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. But going back to it, so there's no confusion. I think we all are one, and I kind of it for me it burdens me when we're separated. You know, I think that is a part of what destroys our culture. You know what I'm saying? I think we're all one. I think, so when I personally heard, I was in the South when these guys came out, so I know all about the Southern music and everything. I was in Georgia, I was in VA, I was there, before that whole movement started of what we know now. So I completely relate to all of that. I think again, it's when we get dictated to try to play a
Distracted.
role exactly to separate ourselves from being one family is where the confusion comes in at. So I'm not an author of any confusion. I think that we all are mixed together to become one. It's going to take, coming from here, coming from there, coming from there to make one unique, sound that we know now today is hip hop, which is a beautiful thing.
Well, let's bring it all together. Basically, we're all saying the same exact thing. And the bottom line, it always comes out down to money, because it started from that, and then started like a snowball effect, where ultimately people just started getting distracted from the immediate situation, and started reacting to everything that was going on. So it may have started with one thing, but ended up with something else, which was like the separation of the coast. You know what I'm saying? The regions and stuff like that. But ultimately, it all comes
You
down to the
you got to
bottom line.
remember, I come from the time when, one of my brothers were people that I claim to be a part of me. KRS-One, he had me believe that nothing existed besides Harlem, the Bronx, and maybe Brooklyn. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and to the
saying? I
and to the
come,
point of to
yeah,
the
I
yeah to
come, I
yeah
come from
to
that.
yeah
You
to
know
the
what I'm
point of Mr.
saying? And I had to one day, shout out to all my Jamaica Queen guys and all my family out there. They they took me out there and I started hanging with those guys, and they took me to the 40 projects, and they took me to, up on Jamaica Avenue hang out. I said, what the hell? The first thing I thought is, what that careless one lied to me. You know what I'm saying? This is not the way it was depicted. This is
Well, that's
like
exactly
this
what
is
Mr.
this
Pryor
is
was saying.
real. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
and now, Queens, look how Queens, took over, and the foundation they laid for hip hop in New York. So it's we're all together in this. So yeah, it had to branch out and branch out and branch out. But I think we all should have respect for each other, and the different roles that we all played in it. And I think what might have kind of touched the heart a little bit for guys that was in my age category is that, yeah, I mean, New York is the foundation. Maybe any of this when it got started, if it wasn't for those guys in the Bronx, if it wasn't for, those guys in Manhattan, Harlem, Brooklyn. It's the foundation, so that is just what it is. But it's no one should get offended that see this. Bigga loves the world. Bigga loves all the kids. Bigga, Bigga is about love. You know what I'm saying? Don't come at me. You know what I'm saying? That would
And
be.
we left out Florida, we left out Miami. When I was in Miami, you talking about Miami base, but you mean Two Live Crew.
Yes, I love Two Live.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
running around,
But mind you, one of them was from Harlem.
huh?
Mind you, one of the Two Live members is from Harlem.
Yeah, for sure. And then they also had a group
Marquise.
called Afro Rican, and yeah, Marquise, and they
Yeah.
had a group
Yep.
called Afro Rican, and this is we talking about Bass Rock Express. I mean, Miami bass was flashy. We was in Miami, and Ocean Ave. It wasn't like it is now. There were no skyscrapers down there. Remember, I'm
Right.
Jamaican. It's
Right.
Sunrise Boulevard, man. Like I was in Broward County when they do 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 do. I was there when they was chasing migrants over. They had the flashlight on and they was jumping over gates and the door. The
Scarface
canines, like
days.
I was there. You know what I mean? And and it was flashy still. It was flashy. It was always jewelry to everything. So always draw the distinction between we know that New York is the birthplace of hip hop, and we understand that we understand that lyricism and mixing it up with the wordplay and everything that goes with it, the flat out poetry that comes out of and came out of New York was revolutionary. It was just like how you on the West Coast, I'd say a group like there were others, but I say like how the effect that NWA had on the world and Ice-T with Colors, like the effect that he had was because there was so much wrapped up in that poetry and what it meant, and it was a voice for people who didn't have one. Like Two Live Crew was a voice for Florida, for Miami, and so, but at the crux of it, them executives wouldn't have been touching it if it wasn't getting no bread, if them stadiums wasn't piling up, if them units wasn't moving, they wasn't touching it. So like I said, I reiterate that part. I'm gonna shut up about it. The East
Well,
Coast just waited a little bit too long to go ahead and pop the nitro. They just waited a little bit longer. They thought that it was still about what you saying, and then it became videos and the flash, and it was like all the other regions was like, it ain't just about what we saying, man. It's look at the barbecue. We having a barbecue. We outside, man. We enjoying ourselves. We enjoying our lives. Drop this, drop that. Listen, man. The entire, the whole goods and services and accessories and clothing and fashion and the magic and all of that. That was driven by the engine of hip hop and music. It was driven like we advertised all the brands. There's money that was made from that, national deficit money. And that's what the real issue was. Not a bad thing because we made it. All of us did make that bread. The hair, the stylist on the video made bread. The street team dudes made bread. The restaurants where you go to eat at made bread. The craft services made bread on the video sets. Everybody made bread. The driver made the bread. Everybody. We were an insulated community. We were a Black Wall Street of sorts. You know, and so the arguments. I feel like if everybody continued to get the bread, I don't think a lot of them quarrels would have started, man. It just happened that it turned into where it turned into a who's getting the lion's share of what, and then everybody took it to the rhymes to discuss how they felt and address it, but it was really always economic and monetary.